Said it before and I'll say it again. This election is a choice between too bad to worst. This particular segment has to deal with Hillary Clinton and the fact that she's a big liar too, and she can't seem to stop. Now, she's not quite as bad as Donald Trump, but she is out there, and and I watched the interview she did Sunday with Chris Wallace, and she just lied, and she needs to get this email thing from behind her because she may win, but I mean, it just leaves such a bad feeling, a bad taste in my mouth to think of Donald Trump as being president, but the taste that's left in my mouth behind her being president, though not as bad, it's still like yuck. Anyway, here's Ron Fournier's piece on Morning Joe regarding, there's no other way to put it, lying Hillary.
This piece in The Atlantic titled, "Why Can't Hillary Clinton Stop Lying?" Ron writes in part, on Sunday, the former Secretary of State told Fox News' Chris Wallace that FBI Director James Comey cleared her of misleading the public about her rogue email server at the State Department. That's wrong, and she knows it, which makes it a lie. And yet, in my mind, the case against Clinton is not as disturbing as Trump's mendacity, megalomania, intolerance, and intellectual slovenliness. I'm angry at Clinton because I expect better. The country needs better. I say again, if Trump becomes president, the world will have Clinton to blame. That is why Clinton's advisors, senior Democrats, and members of the liberal media need to stop covering for Clinton. Please, for the sake of the country, tell her, stop lying.
Ron, it was breathtaking. The Fox News interview with Chris Wallace. I don't know if I gasped watching it. But it was staggering that she would claim that she did not send or receive classified material on her server. After all of this, even when he showed Comey saying she wasn't telling the truth, she still denied it.
Yeah, I pulled out the last of my hair watching it. When you talk to her,
looks like it. God.
When you talk to her people, they'll say, what she did was she was parsing. She was talking about the fact that he said she didn't lie to the FBI, and I'm like, this is not the day and age to be parsing. And a parse is another word for a lie because she's knowingly misleading. She did violate policy. We know that. She did expose U.S. secrets on a rogue server.
Ron, why did she do it? Why did she lie when she knew she was lying and she knew that everybody knew that she was lying? Why didn't she just brush it off and say, I made mistakes. I'm terribly sorry. I've been chastened by the FBI director. I didn't break any laws, but sometimes I have to hold myself to a higher standard. I won't make the same mistake again. Why can't she say that? Her own supporters are asking that question.
I don't know. That's been a mystery now for what has been 18 months. I think she put this election away a long time ago if she had come clean on email. Now all she's got to do, especially after last week, look, she had a great convention, a very aspirational message, and nicely tucking in the argument that Donald Trump is not fit to be president, an argument that I really agree with, that a lot of Democrats, a lot of independents, even a lot of Republicans agree with, that he would be a bad man to be president. So all she's got to do now is get out of her own way. Why underscore what the one thing is that's holding her back from being president, which is how dishonest she's been about the scandal? So politically it would make sense, ethically it would make sense, just to say exactly what you said. What I did was wrong, here's why I did it. It violated policy, it exposed U.S. secrets. I did it because Republicans, they were to be mean to me, but you know what? I got to be better than Republicans. And then move on. Why go back to the 1990s and do a Clintonian parse that might have worked when there was gatekeepers and it was a different political environment? It doesn't work now when every member of the public has access to what she has said before, has access to the records that show that, what she did was wrong and against policy. I don't get it. You know what really frustrates me is all the Democrats who call people like me frustrated with Clinton, and I want to tell them I did with this column, stop calling me, call Brooklyn. Tell them to quit lying, and you quit covering for her. Force her to do the right thing so that you can win this race.
Just to be totally clear, that congressional hearing on July the 7th, Trey Gowdy asked Director Comey, is it true that what you said, nothing was marked classified? And he said that's absolutely not true. That's from Jim Comey from the FBI. So that's the coming out of his investigation. Do you think part of it, though, Ron, is that she has assessed in this race that she is up against someone that she can safely hold the ball and not go into detail and not talk about what exactly she did because she's getting away with it against Donald Trump?
Yeah, that is why, but I'm afraid she might be making a bad assessment for two reasons. One, that's been their assessment from the beginning. I literally had senior officials on the record, or not on the record, on background a year ago saying, or more than a year ago, saying that trust doesn't matter, that Bill Clinton won even though he was trusted less than the two people he ran against. What they don't realize is the world has changed, and we now see that trust does matter. It's really destroyed her credibility. Now, she could still win, even by continuing this parsing and this lying, but then she's going to be leading a country where two-thirds of the people don't trust her, and you can't transform our politics. You can't do half of the things that she wants to do that need to be done if people don't trust her. So that's the miscalculation they're making. They're only worried about winning this news cycle. They're only worried about winning on Election Day. They're not thinking about what you're doing to undermine not just her credibility, but the credibility in our political system and the Democratic Party.
Gene.
Yeah, Ron, this is Gene Robinson.
Hey, Gene.
Yeah, listen, you have covered the Clintons longer than just about anybody. I won't let you off the hook here. Give us an insight into the psyche. What is going on inside the collective Clinton head on this rather elementary point?
Yeah, I'm glad you. First, I'm not one of these Clinton haters. I respect the Clintons. I think I know where they're coming from. I just don't condone what they're doing. And here's where they're coming from. They have been under attack for 30 years now. A lot of it is self-inflicted, but much of it isn't. For example, Vince Foster. I knew Vince Foster. Good man, decent man, cared about his country, cared about the Clintons. He had some mental issues. Unfortunately, he killed himself. It was a tragedy for his family. It was a tragedy for the Clintons. And the Clintons have been accused of murdering him. That's going to create some kind of scar tissue. And a lot of these scandals are self-inflicted, but many of them are not. So you get to the point where you're paranoid, and partly because people are out to get you. You've been burned when you've disclosed information, and they have a sense of self-righteousness. They really believe what they're doing is the right thing for the state when I was in Arkansas, or the country, and therefore the ends justify the means. A lot of that worked in the old days when you could convince the gatekeepers that, hey, we're the right guys, we're doing the right things, give us a pass on this. Nowadays, man, it's, as you know, it's a cowboy mentality with communications, and they're being burned by 300 million reporters who are looking at things differently.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes in Washington is that in Washington, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean everybody isn't out to get you.
Exactly. That's the case for the Clintons.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Clintons feel like after all these years. Ron Fournier, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And coming up, we'll watch.
All right, so, somebody got to get to her because, and I said it before, all she's got to do is come to Jesus one time, make a statement, I was wrong, blah, 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 blah. Comey was right. I'm going to agree with everything he says. And now that this is over, there's going to be no criminal charges. I am no longer going to discuss this. And put the damn thing to bed. 2 or 3 people will try to push her on it, and all she's got to say is, I've indicated I'm no longer discussing this. Next question, please. That would be the end of it. But just can't do it. Trump can't stop opening his mouth and tweeting, and Hillary just can't stop lying.